Hey, come here for a second. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She had big energy. She loved magic and adventure. She thought she had a normal childhood. She had a small family, was enrolled in dance classes since forever, and she was often left alone. It wasn't until she was a teenager that she realized something was wrong. She had few to no memories of her childhood. She was terrified of rejection and constantly on high alert in fight, flight, or freeze. Most nights, she couldn't sleep. She couldn't maintain close friendships despite the fact that she longed to feel connected and find companionship. When she looked in the mirror, she hated what she saw. Subconsciously, she was desperate for love and attention and a sense of worthiness, and she would do anything to fill that void. In her late teens, as a desperate attempt to regain control over her life that felt so out of control and so scary, she developed an eating disorder and controlled every little bit of what she ate, what she looked like. She started in talk therapy and was in talk therapy for years, talking about how she was feeling, how she couldn't get out of her own way, how she felt down and depressed, wasn't herself, not that big, magical, adventurous self she was when she was a kid. And it was like that little girl had disappeared and she didn't know where she had gone. She was quickly diagnosed with depression and anxiety disorder and put on different medications. The adults in her life told her that she was doing amazing and that she was so mature and she was on the right path. And she smiled and she nodded. But inside, she felt lonely, lost, and scared. In her early 20s, she met a man who fed that need for love that she was so desperate for. And she was willing to become anyone to receive that love. In their short courtship, she said yes to everything. She said yes to joining his church. She said yes to his lifestyle. She said yes to thing after thing after thing because, oh my God, she had found a source of love and would become anyone to keep it. Less than a year later, they were married. This little girl was now a woman, an adult, and even in marriage, she felt lost. She kept trying to do the things to make everybody feel safe, everything be okay, to become anything that anyone around her needed her to be so that she would be safe and receive that attention and worthiness and affection, and it was slowly draining her. In these moments, she developed a pretty negative relationship with alcohol and sought the attention of anybody who would give it to her, even if it made her husband at the time very uncomfortable. Not too long later, they started their journey of having children. At that time, she became very committed to becoming the image of what she thought her husband at the time wanted, which was a traditional wife and mother. She flipped from promiscuous, drinking, dancing, attention-seeking, newly married girl to zippered up Christian woman seeking validation from her husband, from the church. She wanted desperately to do all the right things, and yet every time she thought she was doing those things, the goalposts moved and she couldn't figure out why in doing all of these things, she still felt lost and scared and afraid. She realized quickly that there were several memories from her late teenage years now, and even last year, that she couldn't remember. One time, she was having a conversation with her grandmother and her mom and her sister, and her mom told this whole story to her about how they had gone on this trip to Washington, D.C., a little vacation, when she was 17 years old, and her standing there at 24 had no recollection of it. And that scared her. It scared her deeply. She had children, and found love for them, the more she dug in, the deeper and deeper she tried to do the right things to keep her safe and to search for that love and that worthiness that she so desperately wanted, the more lost and out of control she felt. And then one day, she woke up, some random day in May, and looked at the man beside her in bed and thought about her children and realized there was nothing that day that she would do that would bring her joy. There was nothing that day that would light up that spark inside of her that she had when she was a young girl. That somehow, somewhere along the way, in trying to do all of the right things, in trying to feel that love and worthiness, it had evaporated and she didn't know where it went. It was at that point that she knew she needed to make a change. She started having some really challenging conversations with her husband at the time, and to no fault of his own, it was too much. Despite their attempts to work things out, they decided to move a different direction, and she filed for divorce. They say that when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. And that was true for that girl. It was at that point in her life when two amazing women arrived who would be her guides. At that time, she decided to jump in. She recognized that there was a serious problem, and it wasn't her husband, it wasn't her children, it wasn't her life, it was her. That she was the one who had said yes to all of these things and couldn't see where she had gone off of the path. She couldn't see where she had lost herself, and she desperately wanted to find herself again. So she got committed. She got committed to the journey. She got committed to healing and showed up every day ready to do the hard work. In getting committed to healing, she began to learn and grow. Days passed, weeks passed. The divorce went through. Both her and her now ex-husband did a lot of work on themselves. Now they're pretty great friends, and they're raising some pretty awesome kids together. He went on to find an amazing woman to marry. She now is in an amazing relationship and wakes up every day so grateful and so happy. She learned that she wasn't crazy. She learned she wasn't broken. She learned that she is worthy. She is lovable, and she is capable of finding freedom and joy and peace in her life. She learned that she wasn't any different than anyone else. She was just a person with trauma. When she woke up that morning in bed and realized that she needed to make some serious shifts, she could imagine in her head the woman that she wanted to be, and that becoming her would take work. Becoming her would take digging in. Becoming her would be the grandest journey of her life, and that she would always be becoming her, because there is no end point. The point isn't to be done. When we're done, we're dead. The point is to be in the state of becoming and be committed to becoming her. I will say that that little girl has a pretty amazing life now. Her pain and her journey has become her passion. Her pain had a purpose. That little girl was me. It's crazy to look back and share this with you all and think about how far of a journey it has been. And I recognize now how important every tearful moment was. I recognize now how important the pain was, that our pain has a purpose. It is a guidance system to point us back to love. And so out of this pain, my passion has become supporting other people, working with women to help them overcome trauma. The two women who were my guides then taught me to do what they do, and I stepped into the place of guiding others. It has been the honor of my life to be chosen by people to support them on their healing journey, and I know I'm just getting started. I am so thrilled to announce my newest offering for women. This offering is called Becoming Her. We are all on the journey of becoming her, becoming that woman that we imagine ourselves to be, the best version of ourselves. And this program isn't about finishing. This program is about the becoming and getting committed to staying on that path. And to be clear, I cannot make anyone go from point A to point B. There's no magic trick. There's no fairy wand. There is no spell I can cast to create healing in a program or in anything else for that matter. I am not here to heal you. I am here to help you heal yourself. I have never been more excited to launch a program, and this is only open to 10 women. That is it. 10 women who are called and are ready to step into the place of becoming. It will include one-on-one sessions with me. It will include group Zoom sessions so we can support each other on our healing journeys. Some of the most vital information I ever learned in my coaching practice and on my own healing journey was sitting in a group and listening to other people talk about what was going on for them. We are all here to support each other. And so through that, we create community and connection. All of these 10 women will be receiving a specially crafted, guided journal. There will also be a private Facebook group. And I would love to see all of the women that are invited to share their victories, share their emotions, and be willing to be witnesses to each other with love and compassion. So, with that, if you think you are one of my 10, I would love to have you join the program. Information is below. Registration opens March 17th. The first week of Becoming Her is April 7th. We will go until June. This program is for women who are ready to step into the place and want to feel more grounded, more aligned, and look in the mirror and feel love. If you are ready, I invite you to click that link below and fill out the form to get on the wait list. I cannot wait to meet you.